only made one bad decision at 19!
2 bad decisions!
Hi everyone, welcome back to Two Bad Decisions.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Han.
And today we are going to be mukbanging, however you say it, which is like just a short way of saying we're a little bit out of ideas. Just kidding. We actually have a bunch, but like, I don't know. Today doesn't feel like, it feels right just to sit on camera and eat today, which I'm sure is somebody's fetish.
I just think it's so funny. Like, what is more awful than just listening to this right now? Like listening to us eating. I just know it's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, and I imagine some people still aren't gonna watch on YouTube, and that's fine. But like, you're just gonna hear a lot of like smacking and eating noises. So
I think that I love that idea though of like really like I love the idea of really like podcast unfriendly activities. Like shit that just would be it's just so unenjoyable to just listen to. You know?
Yeah. I remember I did this is really off topic. I did a show when I used to go to theater camp in the summers, which I don't know. And we did this one show and the theme that year was American Revolution.
Oh my God.
It was awful. And this one girl who, she was like 2 grades above me, we ended up being friends in high school, but she was like a radio tap dancer. And I remember thinking that was the funniest bit in the entire world because she was
radio tap dancer.
Because she'd be like tap dancing, but it was just the sounds.
Oh my God.
So anyway, we should get into a little food tour.
Woo, food tour.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, so I went to the McDonald's by my house. It's like under 5 minutes away. It's not a full song. That's how I judge all the distances in my brain. Like, is this a full song? And I'm like, no, it's like almost a full song. So it's very close, maybe like 3 minutes. And yeah, I got fries. I already started eating, to be honest.
I was saving mine.
I couldn't. I was like, no. So got 10-piece nugs.
Sorry, I'm coffee today.
That's okay. 10-piece nugs. Actually, fun fact, me and Laura would always get, when we would get McDonald's in New York, we would get, I think, 20 pieces or something like that, and then split it always. Barbecue sauce, and I got a Coke. That's my food tour.
It looked like the pineapple mango smoothie.
Oh, that would have hit.
I would always order that and get whipped cream on top.
Oh, I would get strawberry banana.
I used to, but I remember one time they were out, and for whatever reason, they also had pineapple mango. So I tried that. They were like, "Do you want whipped cream on top?" And that's how it became my favorite drink.
Oh, that's so nice. I've had that one before too. It's good. I just like prefer strawberries because I really like strawberries.
Yeah, I think if I were to do it without the whipped cream, I'd prefer the strawberry. But for some reason, like the whipped cream with that is so good.
Chef's
Also, disclaimer, this is the first time I haven't, other than like the very first episode we recorded, like on video, that I haven't been like dressed up. So our ridiculous thing this episode is that we're just like breaking down. No,
yeah, I had my first, like, I don't know if it's my first, but my first like memorable college related like meltdown because because I'm transferring and all of my, and like 3 of my applications are due on Tuesday, and I was getting so pissed. I was just like really prickly and like irritable earlier, and my mom was like, "Why are you like mad today?" And I was like, "I'm stressed out." And then she like left my room, and I started crying. And I have this picture on my phone of me crying, and it's like a single tear going down my face, and I drew a heart around it, and I was like, "This is so cinematic."
No, do you ever record yourself crying just because it feels very coming of age?
I was like, "Hey," and let the tear go down my face.
Can you send it to me?
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah.
Why am I so coffee? Excuse me.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
No.
No.
Maybe the nurse at Sheets gave me corona. COVID.
COVID. Yeah, what's your food tier? Food tier? Food tour. Oh my god, I had a stroke. Oh,
except not a hall. So I go to Sheets. Anne doesn't know what this is. It's like, it must be a Midwestern thing, I guess. Because I haven't seen them on the East Coast. But when we like travel, it's a chain. Like I'm pretty sure I've seen other
probably
Sheets.
Your area.
What?
Part. It's probably just that area of the.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen one in like Pennsylvania. Like I assume in Indiana. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I always go there and get coffee because it's like gas station coffee, so it's cheaper, but it tastes so much better. And like, okay, so I don't like driving distance. The Dunkin' is like 15 minutes and the Starbucks is like 25.
Whoa.
But like it doesn't feel that long because you're constantly moving when you're driving in Ohio. Like I imagine if I was driving in California, that would feel way longer. And then we have a McDonald's just like if you turn out of my development and then you turn again, like it's just down that way. And we have like a strip of like fast food places. So I'd say under 10 minutes. But I always go to Sheets because like, well now I do. Because it's really cheap coffee. Like this is like $2.39. It's an extra large. And it's really good. And like this sounds like an ad.
It's really good.
Sheets sponsor us.
Sheets.
But yeah, they never charge me the full amount. So I guess Sheets wouldn't sponsor us. And I got it for free the other day just because this guy didn't feel like changing registers.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then they had these things called mac and cheese bites. They're like really good.
Amazing.
I don't know, they give you this like fancy ranch, and I always get it, but I don't usually eat it.
I don't like ranch.
I like ranch by like the shitty kind, like the cheap kind. And then here, I'll unbox it for you.
Yeah.
It's not opening right, but you see it.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm eating my nugs right now. It hits. It's good.
Yeah. And I got peppermint mocha for my coffee.
Ooh, yum. Amazing.
So this brings me into my story about this morning. So I was getting a coffee and I just like parked normally. Like there were no cars on either side of me. So this person had options. I would like to preface it with that. And they parked. So, okay. We lost the real set of keys to the car. So I have to like stick it in the lock. It's like the backup and twist. So I need to be able to access like the driver's side of the car. And they parked so goddamn close that I couldn't have opened the door if I wanted to. And so I imagine no one was in like the passenger side because there's no way anyone could. So I had to like shove my body just down the like little crevice so I could stick these stupid keys in and twist. And then I'm like, how am I gonna get in?
No.
I had to go on the passenger side and climb over like the center console. And yeah, and I was just like really pissed off. And I feel like that's one of those situations where I should have just like stayed there and been like, yo, what the But like, no, that's when my anger, I like stood there for a minute and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, and then I convinced myself it was my fault.
Oh my God. I've done that.
You parked within the lines. Like they're the ones that parked so close to you that you couldn't get in your car.
That's whack, dude. That exact thing has happened to me in a Panda Express parking lot. Or it was like a big parking lot, but I had gone to Panda Express. Actually, Matt was there. But it was before we were like friends. We were friends, but I like, there was a point in time where like when Matt and I were friends where I like barely paid attention to him because I was just so like irrelevant. Yeah, I'm like my brain just blocked him out. But basically, I parked in like, I always park kind of far. Not always. I usually do because I'm just bad at parking. And I'm like, I would rather walk than like pick the seat. And oh my God, Matt is FaceTiming me.
Matt, you know what? Let him on for a second.
Let him on.
You can say hi.
Yo. Oh, it's connected. Yo, we're
sometimes.
No, shut the wait, listen. Let's say hi to the podcast. We're in the middle.
Hi, Matt.
Oh,
I have my
Hey,
earbuds
Laura.
in. She said hi. hung up. He keeps doing that lately. Anyways, that's not the point. The point was I parked at this Panda Express. I parked kind of far.
Sorry, I'm just like realizing how funny that was. Like,
he's calling me
right as you mentioned him.
Oh my God. Destroying the podcast. Dude,
No,
wait.
spicy.
So I was just telling the story about the time that I remember, like, was it like I parked at that Panda Express and then that lady parked hella close to me and then she got mad at me.
Yeah, what about it?
That's the story. Okay, bye. Okay, so
I feel like everyone just got like a glimpse to what it's like to talk to you and Matt at the same time.
The anger, like the unadulterated anger for no reason.
It's so funny, but like sometimes
so aggressive.
We just say something really mean to each other. We just have to sit there.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, this is he's making the story way too long, but basically the lady parked way too close to me. She trapped my side and I had to go in from like my other side. And this woman, again, like you said, she had options. This parking lot's huge and she chose right next to me and then like way over the line. But what happened was there was like a grocery store in that parking lot. And she had just gotten her groceries and she came back and basically she came back when I was in the middle of like backing out and like Matt and like who we were with they were like helping me back out. They're like, okay, come on. And she's like, what are you guys doing? And then she got mad at me for being close to her car. And I was like, what? I was like, ma'am, you parked close to me. And she's like, oh no, I get it, sweetie. You haven't had your license for that long. And I was like, oh. I was like 17.
It's like, especially when it's obvious. Like, I'm like, you are over the line.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't do this.
I was so mad I couldn't talk. I was like yelling at her from like in the car and the two of them were outside of the car and they were trying to talk to her. But they were like, they're way too polite, you know? I'm like, let me go out there. Let me at her. I'll go yell at her. But I was so pissed. I was like, ma'am, even if that is true, let's say I've barely had my license, like I haven't had it for that long, then why are you parking over the line when you've had it for way longer than me? I was so mad.
Also, why are you parking next to someone like who parked in the back? I never do that.
Yeah.
I always park in the not the very back, but I park far back. And then like sometimes people just park next to you and I was like, what was that for? Like, you could have not done that.
I don't know. If you see me parking in the back, that means I'm a bad driver. That means don't park next to me.
I also solely pretty much Princess Park.
What?
It's where, you know, when they're like too empty, like spacious to park, like and one's in front of the other and you pull through.
I do that. Parking. I do that. I didn't know there was a name for that.
If I can park like that, I will.
Me too. Amazing.
That was infuriating.
No, yeah.
I just like stood there. I'm like, do I say something? Like, do I wait and be like, hey, like,
excuse me? Yeah.
And I told my dad about it. He's like, why didn't you take a picture of their license plate, like in case like the passenger had like opened the door and it like scratched the side of the car. I'm like, unless that passenger was a child, like an infant, no one was fitting out of there. And I understand, like I parked, like I was still in the lines though. I parked a little further over, like I wasn't exactly centered. But when you see someone like parked a little further to the side, why would you intentionally park right next to them? It's also a gas station, so like there's like the store part, which is actually really nice. It's not like, you know how normally you go into like a gas station store and it's kind of like grimy and whatever. It's pretty nice in there.
Amazing. That sounds fun. Now I want to go.
Yeah, I dead ass. Just come to Ohio and I'll take you to Sheetz.
Only for the gas stations. I actually really like gas stations. It give me good vibes.
Too. I like staying in the parking lot.
I love like dirty gas station vibes. I'm like, oh, it's like endearing.
Right. And then I was backing out and there's like cars behind me because it's a gas station and like I can't see shit. So I'm like, I'm winging this. Like if I die, I die.
Oh my God. One time I don't know when I did. It was like early on in my driving career and I went to get gas and they had like, you know how they have like that roof thing and then they have like the pillars that hold it up. The things that were holding it, I think they were brick. I remember them being, I don't know if it was all the way up, but they were like brick pillar kind of things. And I was backing out to try to get closer to the machine because I couldn't reach it or like I parked too far for the gas thing to reach it. Right. And it was like a crowded, like everybody was there, and I backed out into the pillar in front of everybody, and it was so loud, and I panicked. I panicked and I hit the gas again. So I like dug it in, like extra, and like everybody saw me, and I was like, no. And then it took me so long, and I like stayed there for so long because I was like, I wasn't thinking, and then I like didn't. I just like didn't reverse, like I didn't go forward fast enough. So it was like I like hit it twice, and then there was a long pause, and then I came up again. It's bad. And like basically it wasn't that bad, but like it hit like the back corner of the car, and it like popped it out like a dislocated shoulder kind of thing. To like push her back in. And to this day, she's got like a big old. It's not that bad. There's like a scratch, and she's like a little bit off. Like she's a little bit dislocated, just a little bit. But yeah.
See, that's why I love talking to fellow bad drivers, because it makes me feel better about, like, I haven't hit anything for I don't know how. Like I should have at this point, other than like curbs and stuff like that.
Ooh, I always do that.
But that's like I'm like, I don't think that counts.
No, yeah.
But it makes me feel better because I'm like, I too do awful things when I drive. I think everyone does. I don't like good drivers because I'm like, you're telling me you've never like gone the wrong way down a one-way street.
What do you mean? No,
my mom did that, and like well into her driving experience too. Like it was like a couple years ago.
I've actually been getting better.
The cops pulled us over on vacation. Like we didn't know it was a one-way street until we got pulled over.
Oh no, that's so scary.
He was
that's
an
like
asshole about it too.
Really? That's one of my
We're
biggest
like, we
fears.
don't live here at Salem. Like,
oh my god, I love Salem. We gotta
got
go.
pulled over there, and I remember my mom cried.
Oh no, that's so
really
sad.
bad.
Dude, how sad.
It was such an asshole. And then I don't know if I started crying. I just remember being really angry. And like
I always get anger afterwards. And then it's already too late. I'm like, well, it's over. I don't like talking about this because it's actually like a bad experience, but like my other like bad driving experience, like the running into the thing at the gas station was funny, like nothing happened, but like, basically the other time, so ever since this, I think I've been a better driver because like, I don't know. Well, what happened, it was like over this, like the summer before we left for New York, and then we went to New York, and then we came back, and then I was like very aware of my mortality, and like I stopped driving badly. But anyways, it was like a very weird day. I remember I was like teaching a lesson, and that was when I would like go in person. So I had to like drive to the kid's house, and he was like on the freeway and stuff. And like I kept getting into like weird like near misses, and like I think it happened like 2 or 3 times. And it was like a very weird day, and I would like almost miss like somebody like scraping by me or like hitting the back of somebody's car. And then I was like finally almost home, and I was like at a stoplight, and I was like the 3rd car in line from the stoplight. And then I saw it go green, and I saw the first car go, but I forgot that there was a second car. So I like sped up, and I rear-ended them. It was so bad. It was so bad. And it was like a family.
No, it's not funny, but it is.
It's not funny. It was so bad. I cried, and I started crying, and they were like, please don't cry. They were like my age. It was like 2 siblings, and then their dad was in the car. And I was like, I was like, so I felt really, really bad.
It's just embarrassing. Yeah.
It was just so bad. And it could have been bad. I mean, a good thing we weren't going like fast because we were like at a stoplight. But yeah, I tapped them, and I was like, oh, and I don't know, I started crying, and the guy, like the brother, was like, it's okay, like stop crying. It was so embarrassing. It was horrible.
Oh, no, but I get, like, I feel comforted by that, because I think if it weren't for other drivers being good drivers, I would have gotten into an accident by now. I know that's not like a big brag or whatever. I just need to recognize how bad I am at driving. And for whatever reason, my dad being there makes me more nervous. And I was driving into work one day, and I knew he was like coming out of the neighborhood. So I knew he was like behind me. And I was getting onto 20 to like, you know, whatever. And I cut someone off with my dad right there. So he's like beeping at me.
Oh my God, no.
So I was like, I know what I did. Like, I didn't mean to. But yeah, and then another time, I don't cut people off, but like for whatever reason, when my dad's there, I get like nervous and feel like I have to go like right then. And then I did it another time when we were going to my grandpa's house.
Oh my god, I understand. I feel like that that like right turns on red, you know, is that
Yeah.
I know some places that's like not a thing. I wish it wouldn't be
No,
a
it's
thing.
a thing here.
Because like I always feel like peer pressured if there's somebody waiting behind me to like go when I don't want to go yet. Because like if it was up to me, I would wait for the street to be dead empty. Like I would not be going. Like there would be like not even there's not a car in sight. But whenever there's people behind me, I go. But then I go when I shouldn't go because I feel pressured to go, and like it's just never
It feels
cute.
illegal. Like,
Yeah, and also you know how like when it like you can like turn and then, but like the street for pedestrians, like they could cross at the same time. So then you have to like make sure you're not gonna like run people over. I'm like, why is that a thing? I feel like that shouldn't be a thing at all.
People don't walk places a lot down here, so it's not that big of a deal. But I imagine if I were driving in New York, I wouldn't have just hit a car by now. I would have hit a person.
I would have hit several people. I would have barreled right through them. I would never drive in New York.
It's like I have no awareness of pedestrians, and maybe that's shitty to say, but I don't.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, it's
Give me my license. They're gonna revoke it after this.
Dude. No, there's like no amount of money that you could pay me to drive in New York.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not doing it. Like that just sounds like asking for me to kill myself and everybody in the car. Like just does not sound good.
I think at some point we're gonna get a chance to judge who's the worst driver. Like I'm sure at some point we'll each drive each other in our lifetimes.
Oh my God. I think I'm better.
And, yeah, I agree.
I would like to put money on it. Only
Do
because
you just have an off day where you like you for whatever reason, like there were no cars around. I was turning down my development and I just like peeled out and was like I was like, why did I do that?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, sorry.
No, I have like bad driver fear. Like I'm scared of like I get really self-conscious when I'm driving other people that they're gonna be like thinking in their head like, oh, she's such a bad driver.
Me too.
Which I believe was instilled from my previous relationship. I think that this instilled a fear in me because like he was like a way better driver than me. And then I was like bad, but like also getting better. And like this has nothing to do with that, but like that's just like where I picked it up from. And now I carry it with me everywhere. I'm just like scared that everyone thinks I'm a horrible driver. And I like apologize for like nothing really. And I don't know, weird. I did become very aware of like the idea that I could just die in the car at any point. And I started being a better driver. So I think I'm better now. I don't drive as fast.
I'm better when other people are in the car because I'm like, I could kill this person. Like I should, you know. Like when my little sister's in the car, I'm like really careful.
Yeah.
I think the worst I've ever driven once I got my actual license, not including my temps, because I did Route 20 is really busy for us, and I turned into the wrong lane going the wrong way.
Oh my God, no.
My mom said go left, and she swears to this day she said go right. And I was like, my mom would make me turn into that lane, like the second one. So I was like, I'm going left into the right lane. She's like, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
And then I remember making, like, I obviously stopped and it caused other cars to stop because she's like, what are you doing? And I made dead eye contact with the person. I like almost
oh my God.
collided with, and I just like stopped and she's like, God.
Oh my gosh, dude, I have like driving panic, and like there's this like really popular ice cream place here, or like in the town over, but it's like right next to us. It's called Meadowlark Dairy, and it's like basically they have like a drive-through that you can go to get the ice cream, and it's kind of like it's like all outdoor basically, and it's like a bunch of like white teenagers waiting to serve you. Like they just like kind of stand outside all day, and like they just kind of go up to you. It's like there's no like indoor part, and
oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's actually really cool. But there was a drive-through, and I went with my friend Megan, and they had like cones set up to try to direct you, and basically there was like a very small opening and then a bunch of cones, and you're supposed to go in through the cones to like enter the drive-through line. And I like didn't, but it looked like way too small. I was like, there's no way they want me to drive in there, right? I feel like that's like illegal. I feel like that's not, I feel like that means don't go in here. But I started going in because Megan was like, go in there, and I was like, okay. And then like she was like, wait, like when I was like halfway already entering, and she was like, like rethinking it. And then like we just started screaming. I was like, what? And we were just screaming. And then I like made eye contact with like all of the employees like looking at us, and they could definitely, we were just like screaming in the car. I was like, do I leave? And she's like, no, just keep going. And I was like, I don't know if I should go. And like we were just yelling in the car. And then eventually I pull forward, and then I have to like talk to the employees and act like I wasn't just screaming in the drive-through lane. Like they did just see that happen, because I was like halfway in it for like a good 15 seconds while I was panicking about it.
I do that too with like things that are obvious rules. It'll like a sign will say go this way,
and I'm like, no.
Are you sure?
I'm like, no. There's no way.
The opposite. I do that with exits where I panic and I think that I'm like it's clearly an exit, but and like I'm heading back on, but I'll think that like this is where people are coming off, and I'm like, we're gonna hit, like and then I'll miss it, and I'll have to like do a U-turn and come back. And I'm like, why didn't I just get off that?
Dude, yeah. I'm really bad at being in the right lane for like turns and stuff. So I'll do that like mad dash to like get in the right lane. And I did that like the other day. This is so earlier I told you, I think it wasn't when we were recording, but I said like I got McDonald's instead of In-N-Out because I didn't want to drive around In-N-Out, because that area is just like asking for like a car accident for me, because it's like right by a freeway entrance, and I'm always like, without a doubt, every single, you'd think I'd learn by now, but like, I've just never ever been in the right lane like to go to In-N-Out, because like I get confused, because I always think that like the correct lane is the one that like looks like you're gonna go onto the freeway, but you're not, because it doesn't go that way.
Oh yeah.
But I always go one like further, because I'm like, oh, that's gonna go into the freeway, and it's always wrong every single time. But I do that.
Something I know to be a fact.
Yes,
and I'll do the other one because it looks wrong.
I trip myself I've gone there so many times now, and I just always make the same mistake. But basically, I was with Emmanuel and Katya, and we were getting dinner there, and I was in the wrong lane as always. I'm like, I'm always in the wrong lane, and I like missed our turn, so I had to like go forward and then U-turn. But I was like, I was like 5 lanes away from like where I should have been, and like I crossed 5 lanes at once. To get into like to the U-turn. And they're like, wait, and I kept going like one over. And I was like, okay, I fixed it, guys. Like
oh
zero, just like no, like the consequence doesn't process in my brain.
I think I'm gonna get, knock on wood, but I think I'm gonna get in a really bad accident, and it's gonna like finally hit me, but it'll be too late. Like, you know what I mean? The people, I consistently learn lessons too late. It's like you know what? I'm gonna say this. I sleep in my contacts most of the time. I know that bacteria builds up. I know it can make you go blind.
Bitch, no. Oh my God.
I'm gonna learn when I go blind. But by then, too late.
Jesus.
Also, the main reason I'm doing that usually I do take them out, but the last like 6 months, so we got a 6-month supply for the entire year because contacts are expensive. They were like, you can order again in July, and then I go and like get tested again in January, February, and they like changed my prescription and stuff because my eyes are consistently getting worse, which is probably my fault because I don't listen to what they say.
Might have been the same for years. It's like pretty bad though. It's like consistently, it's still a bad prescription, but it's like just the same kind of bad. So
mine like gets like slightly worse each year, and they're like, well, it's only a little bit. So like we won't change my glasses, but we'll change my contacts. But yeah, we found some like extras. Like I think 3 from the last time. I have monthlies from like maybe a cycle or 2 ago of contacts. So these could be like 2-year-old contacts.
Oh my God. No.
And there were only 3 left. And then 1 I got mascara in, and it really hurt. So I took them out. And I threw them away. And 1 I ripped one. So I just kept the 1. And then it started really hurting me. So so now I'm on the last pair. I just have to make it last through December. But I've been sleeping.
That's nasty. No. Oh my God.
And I'm sure I'll learn my lesson when I'm blind.
You have like pink eye or something.
No, when I'm blind.
When you're actually dead
today's
blind.
not that day. So
oh my God.
When we get there.
Knock on wood. Dude.
I don't know why I did it like that.
Why did you do it
like this? I was like the dance.
Yeah,
no, you're supposed to go. I always
know.
did it wrong in church because I'm pretty sure I'm doing it wrong now. Because they'd always do it and they'd look at me, they're like, no.
Oh
'Cause
my
I thought
gosh.
the way I used to do it when I was little, no one corrected me for years. And I think it's just 'cause they were like, oh, she's young. But I would go,
Mm. That was like a salute, dude. Oh my god. I just
like, you're
realized,
supposed to go down and then like across. But I just,
isn't it like, it's like
so you go here.
God is like, what are you guys doing? Does this like call him?
It's like,
What
yo,
is
can you shut up? I'm getting other calls
Does
right
he
now.
get like notifications?
He's like,
feel like
man,
I
do
didn't-
not disturb.
It's like, oh my god. Did that, I guess I didn't process for anybody who's just listening. We were doing that thing
Oh,
when you like tap your,
We're doing
what
the
is
sign
it
of the
called?
cross.
Oh yeah. Isn't it
So
right
it's like
and then left?
father is like forehead. And I think that's what this is sign language for father, right?
Is it?
Which I think is funny.
Is that a slur? Is that something bad?
No, that's just father.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I don't know what that I just did is, but this is father. Because I know like this, I'm pretty sure this is mother and then like grandma and grandpa.
Oh.
I'm not positive on that one.
I don't know
think it's
anything
something
about that.
similar.
Oh god, those girls in high school were so annoying. Did you have sign language at your school in high school?
Yeah, I took it for 2 weeks.
Oh my, were you one of those, the ones that would like talk to each other in class?
Oh no.
I was always like, shut the hell up.
No, I only took it for 2 weeks because it ended up conflicting with one of my classes. So I had to drop it. But it's cool now because I know a little, I don't know enough, but I know a little bit. So like the people at the place I work sometimes are like nonverbal or the place I worked. So, okay, I work at the same institution, but like I've like moved like,
Oh yeah,
they have a bunch of like campuses. And like if they were like nonverbal or if they really liked sign language, like I knew a little bit. So we could like, talk. So that was cool. And then there was this one person who would like teach me some, which was really cool.
That's
But I want to learn more. I just like, I need to like, what's the word? Commit to it. I also want to like be more like, or better at Spanish. Like I was good at it in high school and now I know nothing, which is great. It just shows that I lose anything I don't practice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If my mom listens to this, she's gonna remember. But I used to write her hate letters in Spanish.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
Which is how I got better at it, by the way.
That is so good. I never took it. I'm supposed to take it because I have a language requirement for my associates. And I was just like, I simply cannot. I was going to do French again because I took French for 2 years. But I was like, no, take Spanish because it's very similar to Tagalog and I like understand Tagalog. And but it's similar to Tagalog because the Spanish, what is it called? They colonized the Philippines. Hey, that's why I know. Like, okay, but anyways, I was going to take it over the winter course for like 3 weeks. Spanish 1. I just like never took. I should have taken Spanish in high. I don't know why I didn't, but I just chose French instead. But yeah, we
had to take 3 language credits to graduate honors, and I took Spanish 1 in 8th grade, and then voice crack, and then I took Spanish 2 freshman year, and I think Spanish 3 my sophomore year. But I was gonna take ASL and then just not take Spanish 3. We had a lot of weird requirements for our honors degrees. Like
I think we had that too. We had to have 3 years, but I didn't because I was like, no, if it's not because I was like, it's okay. Like, no, thank you.
I don't think we had language requirements. It was just like, do you want to graduate on? And it was pretty like easy classes. Like they didn't really challenge you to speak in Spanish. You'd get an A. And then like, what else was there? We had French. You could like, if you spoke a language fluently, all you had to do, or fluent enough that you could make a presentation on it, all you had to do was do that presentation in front of staff, and then you would get credit for like whatever level.
Oh my God, what?
Which is crazy, because I could have just faked that I knew French. Why didn't I do that? Like
ours was not like that. Ours was like required. Everybody had to do 2 years just to graduate. And I think if you're fluent, you could just like go to AP, like you could skip levels.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We had AP I don't know if we had AP French. We had AP Spanish. We had no other languages. I remember my mom took German in high school. She went to Germany for a little.
That's really cool.
She knows nothing. She took French as well. Like
Oh,
my mom, sometimes she'll say things and I'm like, I always forget that you were like, at one point in her life, she was probably conversational. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's crazy. I can actually like read German a little bit because I have to
Really?
because I sing in it for class. Like for I can read like Italian and German. It's just about understanding
Mm-hmm.
like the I think language is so interesting because like I sing like I'm a music major, so I sing and it's a lot about like your vowels and like modifying them. And when you sing in different languages, because like it's like I think the most common like foreign, other language that you would sing in besides English, like here is Italian, because like there's a lot of like arias and like classical shit like that. And
That's why I used to take to competitions when I actually
yeah.
like did music. I wasn't like Ham though. Ham was like intense.
No.
I just like went to competitions sometimes.
That's so cool. But yeah, I can like read it. I can read like Italian and
That's
German.
crazy.
But it's just from like having an understanding of like in this language, this vowel sounds like this, and like this letter means this, and like these combinations of letters mean this. Like it's just about like knowing the patterns. That's why I think language is so interesting. It's just like a pattern. And
I
if you
wanna
know the
learn another
pattern, you can like
language
you can
so
just like
badly.
read it. It is
Yeah.
so cool.
See, I've never met anyone that thinks of it like that. Like I've met people that think like in terms of like roots and like usually Latin roots, like people used to like understand things. But like I've never met anyone who just like who like can analyze. I just think that's so cool. You just like I don't know. Sometimes you like tell me something and I'm like, I don't think I've ever met anyone that looks at it exactly like that.
Oh,
Which is
so
kind of cool.
nice. But yeah, I can't understand it because I just sing it. And then I do like separate translations, but like it's mostly like the singing part. So I don't really know what a word would mean at all. Like I have no clue. So it's just like I can read it, but zero, head empty, no thoughts, which is kind of like a useless skill to have. But like
I'm trying to remember what the names of because I'm sure I mean they're like they're like low level like shit, like maybe you don't know it, but I did Alma del Core my junior year.
I don't know.
I'm like trying to relate.
You're like,
I'm like desperately trying to remember. I just did a song called Pie Jesu my freshman year.
I don't know.
I called it Hi Jesus. And then someone else took credit for my joke and I was pissed. But like it wasn't that funny, so I guess it's okay.
Dude. Yeah, I just know I've just done mostly stuff by Alessandro Scarlatti. I don't know. He has a lot of just like arias that are like the just like the classic ones that I think you just learned because I'm just starting off. But yeah. Super cool.
I just love hearing about your music shit. Like I like to like live vicariously through you in a world where I was like actually trained or like
oh my gosh.
My music teacher didn't make me feel like shit about myself.
No. Oh my god.
By the way, I was one of her favorites up until my sophomore year. But then like I started skipping class. Like that's kind of on me. But
no. That's weird.
Whatever. I'm gonna say it. She was kind of a bitch, and I went to prom with her son. Maybe she should have given me a little credit, but
oh my gosh, dude, I think that's weird. We have things that are like in common that I'm like, that's not. We've talked about this before because like we both discovered that we liked writing way into our friendship. Like that's not the reason why.
Literally a couple months ago.
Yeah, like that's not why I decided like that I liked you, and it's just like a thing that makes me like you more. But I'm like, that's like not part of the initial reason. That's so weird that it came up. And like we have like the music thing in common, and that's like so weird. Like I think that's what if we met that way?
I think in another world we did. I think there's several different like timelines that we met, but I think it would affect how much we liked each other.
Oh my god, we were both creative writing majors. Oh.
That's what I was thinking because I'm adding it on. I'm gonna pass fail a certain class first because it's like a bigger deal if you pass fail when it's your major. Yeah. And I'm only pass failing because I want a 4.0 and like sorry, I know a lot of people hate people that do that. But I'm giving myself 2 pass fails this semester, and
dude,
I'm okay with it.
I got a math class
4.0.
Dude, I got
pass failing it.
I can't. I don't have that option, which is so messed up. I'm like, why?
For the pandemic.
No, I don't know what they're trying to do there, but it's also an asynchronous math class, so even more reason for me to be doing bad. And I don't know. I'm just trying to get this. My mom's gonna be so mad at me. Don't listen to this. She already, I don't think she listens to it, but
Hi, Hands Mom.
hey, but yeah, it's just not good. I'm just trying to pass. That's all that matters. I know,
You
like,
know
it's
what?
not
You're
the end.
right.
It's not the end of the world. It's also not my major. Like, I'm not a math major. Like, it's okay. Like, I know
I
it's
think it's
okay.
ridiculous that you have to take it.
I
but-
think so too. I have not taken math since junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to my senior year. Right.
And I
They
also like to
suggested.
say, yeah, I believe in I believe in having a well-rounded education. I know a lot of people are like, but what about that? But when you have to pay thousands of dollars for it, I
Mhm.
believe in it a little less.
I don't.
Like,
I
I'd rather just
personally.
focus.
I don't believe it. It makes me mad. Gen eds make me very, very mad. I'm like, why? Because it makes me pissed off because I'm like, you know how many classes I want to take, but I cannot because of these requirements. Like, I want to, I guess other people, maybe the idea is that, like, if you don't have to, you won't. But I personally would love to, like, enrich myself in other ways in, like, areas that are not my major to, like, just learn things. But I can't because I have to take all these requirements and it makes me very mad, and it's shit that I just simply, like, I don't know, I'm just like, I just don't need it / I don't care, so I'm like, why? I don't know. There's a lot of
I understand that argument too.
Mhm.
I guess I think everyone should have to take like a philosophy course and like
Oh my
stuff
God.
like that.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people, maybe not everyone, I guess I believe it being like tailored to your major, but I think like there are certain things that people should just know. Like, do you ever meet someone and you're just like, one, no one's ever told you to like shut up in your entire life, but also like, how do you not know these things? And like, I
Yeah.
feel like I've been that person a lot of times, like with common sense shit. But like, I don't know. I think maybe like a literature class, like just like
Yeah.
like because there are a lot of things too that I don't know, and someone will bring up, and I'm like, I just have to pretend. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
sometimes I'll be like, I don't know what this is, but if it's someone new, like if Han brings up something and I don't know what it is, usually I'll tell her. But like, if someone else like brings it up that I'm trying to like impress, I won't pretend I know anything about it, but I'm not gonna say I don't know what it is. That's so embarrassing.
Thinking ahead. Yeah, I think this is, I do agree with the thing about like things that are somewhat related to what you're majoring in, like I think, I don't know, I can think of like I don't know, like a business major or like marketing, and then if they took like a class in like theater management and like things that are like outside, or like I had a professor, I don't think I ever took this because of it was like a scheduling conflict thing, but I had a professor recommend, like, for my science credit, I take this, there's like a class for like physics of music. You know, it's like things that are
Would have
like
been so cool.
yeah, things that are like somewhat related so that you have something keeping you going forward. But it's just like some of these classes just feel so far out of my realm of like what I care about / what I find productive. And it just feels like I'm wasting time when I want to go back to the thing that I really, really care about.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to like, I don't know, pick classes that are sort of like within the like NYU, I'm lucky, has a lot of like options
Yeah.
like for our like core classes that we have to take. And most of my credits transferred over. So like I didn't really have to worry a super lot. Like I transferred in as a sophomore. Barely, but I did. Because I was a semester ahead before at St. Francis. But I think I can get like, I could probably graduate in the next 2 years if I really, really applied myself.
Amazing.
Which would be cool, but then we'll see what happens with COVID. You know what I mean? Because like I don't want to spend my entire senior year online or my last year online. But I would like to brag about getting into law school young.
Dude, that'd be so sick. Being a lawyer is so powerful.
Sometimes I think about like if I'm just doing it for like the power, like the like how you have to call me that. Like I would love to get a doctorate just so people would have to call me doctor.
No,
you know what
that's
I mean?
the sole reason why I love Dr. Jill Biden.
Yes, ma'am. I love that she. Ooh, imagine getting a bad grade from her. I would cry.
Oh my God, dude! Like literally, Joe Biden. I don't know who is that.
Yeah,
but
he could give me a bad grade, and I'd be like,
Dr. Jill Biden, Miss Ma'am.
She says she wants to be called not First Lady. It's like, oh, it's so good because she's the first. Did Michelle have a doctorate?
I don't know.
I swore maybe I made that up because
You're just like, well, she does. Michelle
I
does
would
have a
lay
doctorate.
down on a puddle and let that woman rock.
You like
and
pull
roll.
out her certificate. You're just like, yes, Michelle, this
I've
is your.
written it. Actually, I signed it.
signed it.
Maybe she didn't, because I remember a lot of people saying like, "Oh, this is our first like doctor, first lady." I was like, "Are we sure?" Like,
Oh my god. I thought it was so powerful to make everybody call you doctor.
I
Like,
think
hey.
she said she wanted to be called something. I forget what it was, but it was like,
I don't know.
it wasn't first doctor. It was something
First-
cute. It was something so cute, and I
She's
can't
really
remember what
digging
it was.
it in. She's really, really driving it home. She's like, yes, doctor.
First doctor. But the worst part is when people are like, "But it's not a medical degree," and it's like, no one. That's
Girl.
what an MD is.
Oh
We're
my
talking-
god. That's
No
so
one's
obnoxious.
saying like a doctorate is a doctorate. That's a lot of work. Like,
That is a lot of work, actually. That's insane. What a fun title. That's like
imagine, I can see you. I would like to call you doctor. Can you get your doctorate just so I
Dr. Han.
I think I'd cry. Actually, I'd be like, paging Dr. Han. Like,
Doctor. Oh my god. There are actually a lot of
you don't have a last name to me. Like,
No.
in my head. You're just
What?
Dr. Han.
Lore? What do you mean?
Yeah,
There's no last
Lore.
name.
There's first of all, my last name's a lot. So
It looks like it is, but it's actually not pronunciation wise.
it's like very like it's phonetically spelled. But
Mhm.
like,
But my brain is like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. And it wants to do like whatever it wants. Like
dude, I get it's like it's a terrible last name.
that's how I feel about mine. I don't associate with my name. Okay, this is so traumatizing.
I love how neither of us are saying it because we don't want our last names on the podcast.
I just like refuse. I don't associate with my full name.
I almost went I went Dr. Stop.
It's also not a secret. You can definitely find it if you want to find it. It's like,
our like podcasts are in our Instagram bios.
yeah,
Like,
y'all can find it.
we're
Go find it right now. It's not that hard. But I'm traumatized about my name because this is actually kind of sad and deep. But like
Okay.
having like, I mean, I grew up in like a really Asian community, yet my last name I feel is not that hard to say, but all these like white teachers and white people and just like I guess people
Mhm.
around me like just like would never say my last name or like would butcher it, so then I stopped saying it. I would just be or just accept whatever they're saying, and because like then you just accept that your name is too hard and you stop pushing to like have people say it right. And so that is why I don't think I associate with my last name at all. I do kind of like obviously I'll answer to it and stuff, like I hear it and like I know it's me, but like I can't like there's always like a split second in my head where like nothing like registers for a second because I'm like I just like don't associate it because like I feel like I didn't grow up hearing it enough from like
Mhm.
teachers. Like they would just be like, oh, B, like Hannah B.
Your name's not like
I
again.
don't think it's hard.
I'm trying not to say your last name on the podcast.
Boom and lag. I don't know why we're
But like yours is also pretty phonetically spelled.
I don't think it's
Like it's not.
it's
I don't
three
know.
syllables. I don't know why it's that hard, but like
And
nobody
also
ever
most
said
of
it.
it's like pronounced as like the raw version of the vowel.
Mhm.
Like wait, let me think.
Yeah, it's like both A's are with the
Yeah. Like it's
vowel.
not like
It's not like they're
my
different.
A switch. Like wait, and oh no, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But like
I thought it did.
I don't know. I don't know. I just like never heard it enough. And like I remember thinking this like I think it was like my senior year and they would like announce like awards for like our drama banquets or something. And like I think everybody like butchered my last name, and also on callback lists, people would spell it wrong all the time. And you just kind of get used to it being too difficult for other people.
Mhm.
So then you like stop advocating for like people like being like, okay, say it right, like
Mhm.
thank you. But yeah, so I just like never really say it / like associate with it. So in my brain, it like doesn't really. I think the most at home I've ever felt with like a name is Han, and like I have like a weird like identity thing with like Hannah. It just like I don't know, it doesn't feel like me enough, but like everyone I know from high school calls me that. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know.
You're not a Hannah to me.
Me neither.
There's nothing about you that's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because we know like a Hannah that's like in our friend group.
Yeah.
And like but I don't know. You just don't seem like a Hannah. I think Hannah's like pretty fitting.
I don't know. But yeah, I just like don't want to I don't know, I'm like, I don't feel too strongly enough. I don't feel strongly enough about it to like make everybody change how they say it. So like if you know me from high school, I'll probably just let you say Hannah. But like I do prefer Han. I just like it better. Like I just feel like it suits me. Like because I've never associated with my name. And like I think the first time I like really did associate it was when I was like, okay, you can call me Han. And that really
I love that. I don't think I was there for that. Or maybe I was. Oh
my god, yeah.
I
don't know if have we talked about this on the podcast? I feel like no.
I don't think we have.
Yeah, we've just discussed previously like having nickname fear and how like I was so like anxious to like tell you guys that you could call me Han. Even though it's like not a big deal, but I was so scared. I was like, you can call me Han.
Oh my god, here's a hot take.
Okay.
Which isn't mine, but I think that video games like indoctrinate these like young children into like leaning towards alt-right because of the conversation that's like normalized.
Yeah.
And my brother doesn't say shit like that, but like I know he hears it, and I'm like, and then he talks like a little like incel.
Oh my gosh, have you seen those like TikToks of like when girls put on the headset and they just like fuck you, fucking bitch,
Dude,
and they're like,
I was. You know, when you're playing Among Us and you're just playing as like the pink one because I like the pink one. And I'll just put like Lord, and then you get like hit on by like children because they're like girl.
I hate Among Us like on like the whatever it's called, like public ones. It's just like
I always play on public.
I played once with like actual friends and I was like, oh, I understand why people like this game better like this.
Oh, like, I like it public because I can be like kind of mean.
Yeah.
I also have taken on a role of like defending children on that because like you can tell when they're young, and for whatever reason, it was this one game that made me switch, and I like started being like motherly and being like, yo, it's like it's a kid. Come on, calm down. Like this is clearly a child. But like there was this one, he's a child. He's like, okay, I know this isn't like young. Like I understand I turned 19 like less than 2 months ago. However, to me, it's still a child. There was like this 17-year-old boy and he wanted to be like besties. He was like hosting the game. It was so sweet.
That's so sweet.
I just love when like, I don't know. I love when children still act like children.
Amazing.
And like, it wasn't like weird. Like he was just being like funny and like, he wasn't taking it seriously. You know what I mean? Like I hate like this like teenage boy like yelling at like game, and we were just like triggered. Yeah, we were just like it was like funny, and he kept when I die, he'd like be like, I'm the imposter, so we could talk in the chat. And like
oh, that's so sweet.
It was like oh, I just miss when kids were like kids.
Yeah.
And I remember being 17. I know I didn't act like a kid, but like, it was just like really sweet. And I was like, all right, sick. Like, but we played for like literal hours because it was so fun. He was like the host.
Yeah.
And he had like really good settings.
Oh, that's so nice, dude. That's so sweet.
It was so fun.
Because you said you had a hot take. I say no nuance November. It's still November, right? Yeah, it is
November.
Okay.
It's not gonna be November when we post this.
Oh, that's true. Well, I just wanted to say that I hate Shake Shack. I hate Shake Shack. It's disgusting.
Well, I have so many like no nuance Novembers, but I can't like. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Because I was like, why can't I say it? It's like they're influencers. I can say it.
Yeah.
No nuance November. If you're continuing to support Trisha Paytas after like 2018, you're a horrible person. And that most people don't know what like growth actually looks like. And they just call any like decent thing this woman does growth. And like she'll be like, she did like a trans visibility day. And everyone was like, my respect for Trisha and like that up graph. I'm like,
I hate those.
She was hailing Hitler last week. Did we forget about this?
Dude, I hate the people who use that. I'm like, they like flip flop. My respect for you, and then like my respect for them. And I'm just like, I get so exhausted by like that side of TikTok and just like general like social media.
Right. I also like, there was like this like, I hate how TikTok constantly flips. And I don't mean it in like a sense of like cancel culture. I mean like the way we're supposed to like completely reroute our opinions, like just around like one thing. Like as of like, I saw something today that made me like like, I was like, should I just, I mean, I still feel strongly about what we said on the election podcast, where we're like, let's give us some like time to celebrate like that Biden even won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And someone was like, I forget exactly what they said, but they're like, it was something about, I can't remember. It was like the harm that he's potentially doing, and how like white leftists and liberals have already like given up, which I guess is, or not given up. What's the word? I can't think of it. Anyway, stop trying. And I'm like, he's not in office yet. Like,
yeah, chill.
And I
Oh my
understand
God.
that that's like the general feeling, like, because I get it. Like, I admit, like, I find comfort in him, like, being the president-elect. I find, like, yeah, I probably, like, have, like, tapered off a little bit, which isn't a good thing. Like, I know this. But, like, I don't know. It was just, like, one of those things where I'm like, I feel like now I have to completely, like, form my opinion around this in, like, a different way. And I get what he was saying, but I was like, what am I supposed to critique right now?
I know. I really think like we still have time. I mean, I still intend on, you know, like I don't know. I just feel like I haven't thrown it out the window, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
right,
like
I just like, we've critiqued his past, like, well, not on the podcast, but like, or maybe we have, I can't remember.
Probably not, but you know, on our own time.
It's possible. And I don't really know what else is there to critique right now, because it's not like he's really doing anything right now, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I understand that like we need to be like in like go mode or whatever. I just can't find a single thing to critique right now because this man is doing nothing.
He's not in yet. Oh my gosh.
He's just like riding his bike. Like, I guess we could critique like people's responses, but honestly, I'm not like in the mood to like be like, this is how you should feel.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I mean, I get anyone who feels like upset or excited or whatever you feel. Like, I mean, not upset because like Trump lost, but upset because this was our best candidate. I sympathize with it. But like, I'm just not in the business right now of telling people how to feel.
Yeah. I think however you've responded, I don't know, I just feel like this Trump presidency has like affected people in a lot of different ways and more personally than others, just depending on who you are and like what your experience has been with it. So I think pretty much any way that you feel about it right now is valid, but we have to like give people space to feel those feelings. Can't just like jump in and be like, the work has begun, and it's like we haven't started yet, and
we
like
can't work on anything right now.
I don't know, there's just like a lot of talk about hope, and like just we'll have hope that like people are going to show up in January and like be ready for that. I don't know,
right? And like, I understand it's a valid critique. I think a lot of particularly like white liberals or leftists or any left-leaning people, like, I think there will be a drop off in like,
oh yeah,
I mean, I expect that. Like, I think a lot of people, I guess maybe more like center left people will be complicit and fine and whatever. And I doubt as much information will be circulating. Like, I feel like we're going to see less of what Biden does bad.
It's also like dipping already right now. Just like the awareness.
Yeah,
of,
I've
like,
noticed.
Anything really. Yeah.
Like the posts that I'll normally share on my story, the only ones I've found lately are like, I follow, I think you follow them too, or at least you posted some of their stuff. It's like, so you want to talk about blank. And like, those help me because like, I need to like visually see things to understand them. And like, just hearing of a concept doesn't always like ring whatever. I don't know what the word is. It doesn't like, I can't like picture it. So I like to see, they always have like those little graphics, and it like helps me like, no, I don't think that should be your only source on like this issue, but like it's really helpful to me at least.
It starts a lot of like
continue to post, but
I
haven't seen a lot.
Dude, that person's will is so strong. You see like people that fight them in their comments. That's exhausting, and they just never stop. So kudos to them. But yeah, just
I think about that all the time. Like, how do they have the motivation?
I don't know. I would feel very shot down by like they just like every single thing that they post, someone is calling them like idiotic. Like I don't know, but they're doing God's work. They just start a lot of conversations, and like I think it's a lot of I always appreciate like a clear definition of something or like explanation of an event. So like that helps me too.
Right. And I feel like people like, I don't know, I feel like people think I'm like stupid for that. Like, I wish I was like one of those people that could just like read theory and understand it. I need like several takes on it because also, I mean, maybe that's a good thing because like some people I guess could say like you're letting other people influence your opinion. But I like to see how like people who are actually affected by this theory like perceive it or whatever.
Okay, so that I feel like that's all that we got for today. I hope you enjoyed eating with us. I feel like it wasn't that gross. We mostly talked, so it's like fine. But
Yeah. We didn't really eat that much.
I was eating. You weren't eating, but but I was like
nuggets and coffee.
But yeah, let's see. You can follow us at Two Bad Decisions Pod on Instagram and also at Shop Two Bad Decisions. I recommend following our podcast account because I post I make these like clips for the account and like it's like really fun and I pick like funny parts and like it's fun to watch. But anyways, you can follow that and get little updates there. And we have our resource list down below as usual. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.